Hey guys, welcome to the HKC 217 podcast powered by All Seasons Energy, and this episode is sponsored by the Soul Playing Car Company. And we just want to say a massive thanks to John for coming out to every round and coming out to test days and stuff like that. And he's just been a real massive help. He pays for his tyres sometimes, and he's also
brought you some waterproof socks at Ella Park,
which worked, and we'll talk about that later.
So massive thanks to John. Comes and he's supported Hudson via Patreon probably for nearly 2 years now, so he's a massive help, and his help is appreciated at every round. So as we roll into episode 33, this week we are going to cover.
I'm going to cover the round 2 of the Freetech Talent Cup, which is my first race round, racing the Freetech. So debut, all right, if you want to use fancy words. And then we're going to talk about round 5 of the British Mini Bikes Championship, and that's at Ella Park. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're talking about his weekend at Rowra, which was like track hire, which were really good. The MotoGP Fantasy League update, we're going to talk about that, and then the amazing news that we've been invited to MotoGP at Silverstone.
So more news on that later in this episode. So as we roll in to...
You've already said that.
I have already said that. As we go back to, and we're going to cover first round 5 of the British Mini Bikes Championship at Ella Park, which were a really good weekend. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
A lot of progress made on the 160 bike. If you want to cover on there, so do you want me to roll through it?
Yeah, you can go through practice, then I'll go through qualifying stuff.
So, nice weather, plenty of track time,
dialing
in settings. Did your PB on the 110, beating last year's PB. And on the 160, it felt absolutely fantastic compared to when you were at Red Lodge, really. So you were really, like that weekend there, it felt like when we were watching you ride, a lot of people commented that it looked like you were riding your 160 like your 110, which is kind of what we wanted to see. You just looked a lot more comfortable on it. Obviously, there is a different tyre compound on the 160 Ovale Cup, so you're running Pirellis there. So the tyres are a different profile compared to the PMTs that you can run in the 110 Cup. So I would say it's been a difficult transition getting used to them tyres. I know you had to run the Pirellis last year
on the 110. Yeah.
Kind of alright, really.
Yeah, we're alright on the 110.
But they were your main bike on the main tyres.
Yeah, but now I feel like on the 160 today, because it's a faster bike, obviously, it's more of a difference than it was on the 110. But anyway, that's part of the championship, so you got to get on with that.
Yeah, you got to get on with that. So went into qualifying, if you want to touch on that.
So went out on the 160 first, and it went really well. I got P2 on the front row behind Wilson, and I had Parker who were behind me as well. Good qualifying on the 160.
First time you finished qualified in front of Parker, I believe.
Yeah.
A little bit of a goal that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the times were very, very close. You were really, really chuffed with that. And on your 110, you did a PB in qualifying to start on pole position. So we went into race 1, the sprint race.
Yeah.
If you want to continue, sir.
Yeah, so good race 1, got a really good start. And went into turn 1 and just led the race. Looking at my pit board, thanks to Luca and Zach Weston, who were doing my pit board near Ella Park Corner on the entrance to there. Helped me a lot. And just looking at my pit board and got a steady lap.
Consistent with your lap times.
Yeah, consistent with lap times, and pulled a good nice gap.
And come first in both the Ovale 110 Cup and the 110 Open class. So going into the Ovale 160 Cup, 160 Open class, race 1 sprint. Obviously delighted that he got onto the front row, starting just behind Wilson. Unfortunately, as you rolled out of pit lane, you realised that you had a puncture, which was at first you didn't actually know what was happening.
I didn't know what was happening, so I went out of pits and I went to go and turn, and it just went straight on.
You thought it was your steering damper?
Yeah, I thought my steering damper, so I thought it had locked up or something, or the mechanism inside that clips onto the handlebar got jammed up with a cable or something.
You carried on trying.
I looked down, I was like, oh, it looks alright, so I carried on turning, and Parker was just at the side of me. I was just like Parker was just like, "What are you doing?" I just went straight on, and then I managed to just turn it, and I pulled off to the side of the track, and then went off again. And yeah, it would just weren't turning. Went into the first corner, like coming down start finish. Went to brake and went to go turn, and it was so weird because you'd lean, and it like normally it just
trolley
turns,
wheel.
and it just like you'd lean. And I don't even know how I would lean.
I don't know how you did fall off.
But I would just like imagine me going straight on but leaning like that. So I went straight on.
Missed the spongy front tyre.
Yeah, and then like pulled it round and went down the other straight. I was like, what is up here? And then you ran over. I was like, I don't know what's happened. And you looked down.
No, we didn't know what happened. Somebody shouted. So as you kind of pulled out, they kind of like noticed that your front tyre were flat, I think, and you went past start finish straight. So I'd already had that message. So as I were running across here, I was like trying to stop you, thinking it's over, son. So it later transpired that it were a faulty tyre valve, which were leaking air. So really unfortunate. These things happen. You were really good because you got a front row start on the 160.
I know.
You were pushing really on. I mean, like the warm up on that Saturday, on that day, if you can remember the warm up, I think you even went faster than the qualifying time, if I believe right.
Yeah,
you were really pushing on. Like it were a warm up, and all of a sudden it changed into pushing on. Parker were pushing on. I think Wilson. I think you might have done it. It was decent weather that morning.
Yeah.
So. That were really disappointing, but you were in middle of the track, just a bit of
a bummer, but it's alright. I'm going to push on in this 160 Cup and carry on.
Yeah, so just one of them things. So
one of the things that happens.
So moving on to race 2 and 3, there's an unusual one here. So in one of the pick bike races, somebody's engine threw a wobbler, spat oil all the way around the track. I think they might have done like a full lap. Anyway, I never seen it actually all the way around the track.
Yeah, it was. There were droplets, and we were
trying everybody was trying to like clean the track. There were a bit of a rainstorm meant to be coming. Waited for the rainstorm, continued to try and clear this track, but unfortunately, the British mini bikes, a big call really, but understand why.
It's
I mean, a few people.
Yeah, so a few people went out
to test it
as like guinea pigs.
Well, one of the adults come off, didn't they?
Yeah, one of them came off, and they went out, and everyone was just like stood up on the stands watching as they were going over like the oil and stuff.
So they tried to clear the track the best they could, sent out a few adults, and then Clark, of course, called it saying that there's no more junior racing. The adults actually did continue on, which I do know like a few adults actually come off like, after pretty much repacked. So it were a bit of a disappointing one, but end of the day, it were for safety.
Yeah.
If some kid had been injured, everybody would have been moaning saying, why do you let him race? So there were no complaints from us really. In fact, we were trying to clear the track.
Yeah, we were trying to clear the track.
Quite the opposite.
I brung on I
weren't desperate to race, but
I think I brung on 6 like big water caravan things that we have for his caravan, like big water barrels. I brung on them.
A good few 100 litres, mate.
Yeah.
We chipped in. Trying to clear it with Mike and whoever else were there. I think Chris were there as well, and Rob and Mark Andrews.
But yeah, it was just too big.
And all the marshals.
Just like big puddles.
I mean, even one of the worst areas that I've seen after everybody clean it is that our near pit exit.
Yeah.
So I've never actually seen so much oil down. So like near pit exit. So it weren't actually on the track, but it was that bad. I was like, people are going to come in here and just crash into the barrier, coming in.
Just coming into pits.
It was just like rainbow. Yeah. So it is what it is. I wouldn't even say a big call, a call for safety. Not going to argue with that. These things happen.
Yeah.
So all the junior racing were cancelled. I think only the 90s actually got a second race that weekend.
Yeah, because they had their race.
They had their race
start
before.
Of the day.
So as we're covering the Ella Park weekend, we will go to the Ella Park results. So we've not got many to look at. So we will go to race 1. On the 90, so in first position was Caden Herring, in second position was Max Robinson, and in third position was Alfie Landemore. And then they obviously got their race 2. So in first position was Max Robinson, second position was Caden Herring, and third position was Alfie Landemore. Then we'll go over to, we'll try and do it in order because I do actually like to do that.
Yeah.
So in race 1 of the Open Class 110 Cup, that was Hudson Cooper in first position, Parker Cesaro in second position, Chloe Gleason in third position, Max Robinson. So in the O'Varley 110 Cup, this is hard to remember. I'm sure Hudson come first. I think Max Robinson come second and Chloe Gleason come third, which were really good. I think it was. I don't know if it was Max's first 110 O'Varley podium, was it? Or it might have been his second one. So that's the O'Varley 110 Cup. Again, the results aren't really separated there. So we will move forward to the Mini GP 160. So unfortunately, Hudson's right at the bottom of the pile there with a DNF, which is actually a DNS. So in first position were Wilson Dilks. In second position was Parker Cesaro. In third position was Daniel Stevenson. So that's in the open class. So congratulations to them. In the 160 Cup, I believe it was Wilson Dilks and Joshua Herring in second. I'm not sure there because again it's not actually separated. So we will go over to Mini Bike 140. Is that what we do next?
Yeah.
So Mini Bike 140. Ben Lode come in first position. Jamie King come in second position, which is Pit Bike Sonic.
Yeah.
In third position was John Bishop. Wow.
Say it once.
Bisinati.
Yeah, there you go. Done.
Is results by class any different there? I'm just doing overalls there, so
not.
That's that. In the mini, what else? And the Mini Bike 160. Oh, sorry, race 2 of the 140 Pit Bike. Josh Bisonetti in first position, second position Jamie King, and third position Mark Portis. So that's the Supermoto 140. Then we'll go to the Mini Bike 160 and Vets. I believe that these are separated. Yes, they are. So in race 1, Michael Mead come in first position, Sebastian Baron come in second position, Nathan Gardner, which is I know it is. Is that what I think it is? No? Anyway, in the Mini Bike Vets, Tony Reverie, Robert Mead and Dave Cook. Dean Bedreich there. Oh, didn't it? Oh, I think they went home because it were I think they just come for the Friday practice actually. And in race 2 of the 160 and Vets, it was result by class again. 160 was Sebastian Baron, Nathan Gardner and Nikitarius Katikos. I can't believe these names that I'm having to read. And in the Mini Bike Vets, it was Tony Reverie, Robert Mead and Dave Cook. So that's race 1 and 2 of the 160 Vets. Then we'll go to the
Mini GP 190.
Mini GP 190. Race 1 is Wilson Dilks, Andrew Thompson and David Wilton.
Then race 2.
Race 2 was Andrew Thompson, Fahad Laha and David Wilton. And race 3 was Andrew Thompson, David Wilton and Izzy Carter. Oh, it's up now.
DNF, sorry.
DNF from Izzy Carter. I think that's when it were. That's when it had actually oiled on it. And the Super Mini race, they only got one race. So the Super Minis was James Junior Rose, James Senior Rose coming second position, and Lewis Smith in third position. So that concludes. Is that everybody? 110, 190, 160, 180. Right, that concludes Ella Park. So a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to race on that Sunday, but hey ho, no point whining about it. No point sniping comments about it. It is what it is. It was a safety concern.
Yeah.
No complaints from me.
Yeah.
Bit of a bump, a little bit.
Everyone's in the same boat. All the juniors are in the same boat. That's what you got to think.
So fast forward.
All good.
Well, sorry, I say fast forward. So we need to rewind. I do apologise because we've been a little bit behind with the podcast. Yeah. If you do want to try and keep up with everything up to date as quick as possible, it's worth obviously following us on socials. And the vlogs seem to be coming out quicker than the podcast at the moment. The vlogs are doing really well. Really enjoying doing that. So if you got on the vlogs, you will probably find out these results a little bit before.
Yeah.
So this was your debut at the Free Tech Talent Cup on a 125 17-inch Free Tech bike.
Yeah.
So take us through that weekend. What were your thoughts on that weekend? So this were a Friday only.
Yeah. So went there. We're a bit nervous, to be honest. Going there, a bit nervous, but also really excited to race it.
You had a couple of practice weeks.
Couple of practice weekends.
Days, evenings. At Wilton.
But yeah, I was pushing on really good and on the practice days, so I was quite confident going in. And yeah, we walked up on Friday.
Loads of track time.
Yeah, loads of track time. We had
4 sessions.
4 sessions. It was really well run. We had us like briefing and stuff where they talked about like the day and what they're gonna do, and then went out for his practices, and then I'm pushing on all right. We changed a lot of settings.
Yeah, massive shout out to Hudson Kenner and Mike Carr as well.
Yeah,
absolutely, Mike Carr. I mean, like we wouldn't be there if it weren't for Mike Carr. He prepped up bike for us before, after we got this bike, and yeah, he was the one who like, let's have a introduced it into this class, and like we really did. We went up and watched him at Teesside. That was the reason why we went up to Teesside, to see how it run, watch Arne, watch Laken.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
decide.
We really liked it at Teesside, didn't we?
It come about a bit unusual. This Hudson did really well on the Wilton Mill evening rounds. It weren't really planned that we were going to actually enter probably any races this year.
Yeah, we were we were aiming for Pembury, to get up to speed for Pembury, and do like some practice evenings and stuff.
Maybe do some of the Friday practices with the free tech thing, but I think after maybe even after the first one there, I wouldn't say you were pushing on Arne, but you weren't far behind Arne. Probably on the first time you went out there after a few sessions. You weren't pushing on it, but you weren't far behind him lap time wise. So we're like really impressed. And then went down the second weekend. I don't think were Arnie there that second time. No, Arnie weren't there that second time. But you did really well. Improve your lap times from when you went before. And on the way home, I said to you, "Listen, in 2 weeks' time, there's a round here at Wilton Mill. Do you want to do it? It's a Friday only. You can do it if you want to do it." And you said, yeah, absolutely. You wanted to do it, didn't you?
Yeah.
So we did plenty of practice time on the Friday, all the way up. You did Super Pole qualifying, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
so take us through
Never done that. So yeah, I went out for the Super Pole, and we all lined up in the pits. So it were Laken and Arnie in front of me, and then I was here. So they sent out all the mostly faster people in the first, the first pack.
I don't think that was planned.
No, it weren't planned, but Hudson said that, you three go out. So guys,
you had 5 minutes like warm up before Super Pole.
Yeah, sorry,
5 minutes warm up, and then you went into the pit area, holding area as such, and then they went out one by one. I think they let you next rider go after you got to Christmas. Did 3 or 4 at a time, and then reset the track.
But yeah, it was
one flying lap out. Well, one warm up lap.
One warm up lap, and then you're over the line, and then you do your fast flying lap, and then you go over the line and go straight into pits. But it was really exciting. A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Just for one lap.
One lap wonder.
Normally used to building up, because you normally build up in qualifying. You build up, and then you go right, and this is the lap where I'm pushing hard. But you have to turn it on like that. So I'd say it was quite hard. Fun though.
Qualified in third,
yeah.
Laken got pole position. Laken was first position, Arnie Carr in second position, and Hudson in third position. And then it rolled into the afternoon, so you went into heat 1, which I'll pull up the data there. So in heat 1, Laken come in first position, Arnie come in second position, Hudson come in third position. Bike wasn't right there, but we were changing a lot of things even up to this point here. Hudson kind of suggested a few other things. I mean, you were quite happy with coming third on the podium on your first race.
Yeah.
Laken's fastest lap was 55. Laken's was 55.2. Arnie's fastest lap was 55.6, and Hudson's fastest lap was 57.9. So a little bit behind Arne.
Yeah.
Actually stayed with him for the first couple of laps.
Yeah.
And obviously they creeped away a little bit. Hudson kind of sat in a little bit in the middle on that one.
Yeah, we were changing things. We were changing the suspension and stuff, and the fork weights and stuff like that, and changing how the spaces in the forks and stuff like that.
So it weren't 100% right.
Yeah, it weren't 100% right.
You knew that you couldn't really push any further.
I couldn't push any further.
And Hudson Kenner kind of called this. He went, by the end of today, he's going to be pushing that bike to its limit, and we need to get these changes in. And you're absolutely bang on right. But you, again, should be disappointed with getting a podium.
Yeah.
First really race in there. I mean, how far behind were you? So you were a good, like nearly 10 to like 35 seconds behind Lakin crossing line.
Yeah.
Not too bad. So then we go into Heat 2 and kind of like tweaked a lot more settings on this one, got everything dialed in. You were really confident, thinking I'm going to be on it here a little bit. Lakin got off to a good start. I think he led the race. I don't think he led race, did you?
No, I didn't. No.
Lakin got off to a good start. Arnie got off to a good start. Hudson got off to a good start, and then we're really, really close here. Arnie creeped away a little bit. Is this where you like eventually started to catch? So towards
Arnie creeped away, and because we had it was some quite big changes, but we needed to do it because we'd be still changing on race 3, so we needed to do all the changes here, and then so I needed to get used to it in the middle of the race. So at the start of the race I was like, oh yeah, it's alright, and the problem I was struggling was like front end, like lack of grip on the way in, and it was chattering away from me, but it weren't doing it for the first couple of laps. I was like, alright, and then I realised because of these changes we were like, oh, you can push on a lot more here, so I started pushing on more, and then I realised, oh, I'm catching up Arnie here at this point, and I carried on pushing, and I pushed really hard, and I caught up behind like Arnie, and I was trying to follow Arnie.
You can see there in the projected, in the actual lap times there, that you did like a 58, 57, 56, 56, 56, 55, 56, 56, 56, 56, 56, 56, very close to Arnie. It did. You actually said I just needed like one more lap.
I needed one more lap, but I was trying to get him on the last lap. I seen the last lap, but I'm like, I need to get him. So I tried it up Christmas, I tried to go up inside him. Couldn't go up inside him there. Lost a bit of time. Caught him back up on infield. Then tried to get him into they were a late dive into.
I think Arnie realised you were there as well. Yeah.
So a late dive into the boot. And then we just came around to the finish line. How far away we were? Can you see the gap by the end of the lap?
So over the start, well, this is a nice stat that I've not actually looked at here. So Lakin crossed the line at 11 minutes 10 seconds. You and Arnie crossed the line at 11 minutes 20 seconds. So you were both like 10 seconds behind Lakin.
Yeah.
Arnie was 11 minutes 20.430. You was 11 minutes 20.634. So I think that's 2/10. Is that what they say? Yeah, 2/10.
Yeah, 2/10.
You were 0.4. You were 0.6 of a second behind them.
Yeah, so 2/10.
So both of you did your fastest lap on the final lap. So that's like Arnie obviously realised that you were there. So your fastest lap was your final lap of the race, and you actually did a faster lap on the last lap than Arnie, so you did a 55.5, and Arnie's fastest lap was a 55.9. You genuinely come off there like buzzing. Like, I needed one more lap. Not like...
But I didn't think I'd be right up behind him, but when I realised I was catching him, I was like, I can do this here. And I just didn't expect it. It came up and I was just pushing and I got up behind him. I was like, I can't believe I'm actually behind him here. But yeah, I tried to get him, and
genuinely buzzing as well. I mean, you were buzzing off your first result, but that were a race.
Yeah.
Well, it weren't a race. It was you settling into the back and like kind of gradually catching Arnie. Arnie did get catched by he did get scuppered by a few back markers as well. Like, let's not blow your own trumpet too much, but you did have a little bit of a teaser. Like you kind of realised, didn't you? You said to me after I'm catching him here. You could tell where he were on track, and actually made up. I wouldn't say quite a bit of time, but you knew that you knew you were catching him, which were wicked. You were genuinely buzzing there.
And by the end of the race,
we still had some more things to change as well.
Yeah, and by the end of the race as well, a thing I was happy about as well.
Is this it? Heat 2. So yeah, Lakin's fastest time was 55.1, and yours was 55.5.
Yeah.
And Arnie's was 55.9 in that race too.
So yeah,
Hudson's really like a bit of a stat nerd, like looking at stats, thinking, well, you know what? Like, I'm actually in mix here. Like, after that race too.
Because I just dropped off from the first couple of laps when I was like, oh my, like getting used to the changes. But by the end of the thing, I were only like a couple of tenths off Lakin's best time.
Yeah, so, and I think you were behind Lakin. Like I say, you were 10 seconds behind Lakin in that race. So we'll go on to race 3, which is an unusual format what they do there. So it's like double points in race 3 for the final.
Yeah.
Not that it really mattered. You hadn't done round 1, but that is like the format and what they do there. So again, Lakin got away in front. Arnie got away in second. Now this one, you were like bang behind Arnie.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the way around. All the way through the laps. Arnie's still at better here. A little bit more racecraft than probably you.
Yeah.
Certainly getting right back markers.
Yeah, definitely.
He got away from you, you caught him up. He got away from you, you caught him up. He just like managed to get the right moves on the right ones, but you were just chasing Arnie around pretty much all of that race. Wicked, absolutely amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And you crossed the line. So Lakin finished in 13 minutes 52 seconds. Arnie finished in 13 minutes 55 seconds, so 52. So 3 seconds, 2 seconds behind actually, not even 3, it's 0.8. So yeah, 2 seconds behind. So you're pretty much in that race 3 all cross line really quickly. So 52 seconds for Lakin, 55 for you, Arnie, 56 for yourself. But
he won that
last lap. You kind of got scuppered a little bit.
I got scuppered, yeah.
You were closer than Arnie than that.
But on that one, I didn't decide to push on the last lap, obviously, because I got scuppered. But I pushed on the lap before, and I was pushing it, and I'd going up inside again up to Christmas. Really late dive into.
Well, you can see there actually because your fastest lap is on lap 14, so the penultimate lap, before final lap.
And that was what it was. My late dive into the second final corner. Mess my drive up down the back straight, so that's that second. So I lost about a second from doing that. But if I would have got the inside of him, I probably would have been able to hold him off.
I think you kind of had to concede. Like,
I had to concede.
We're on last lap.
I
should be happy with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually, again, you beat. Again, we're not just saying that because you beat Arnie, but the fastest lap time was Lakin's, which was 54.6. Your fastest lap was 54.9.
Yeah.
So again, obviously, Lakin were a good half a second-ish faster than you. And Arnie's fastest lap was really close again, 55.1. I know it sounds a lot slower that, but it's not. Like nothing in it actually between your two lap times.
Pretty
Obviously
much
you were in 54, but
pretty much a tenth or 2 tenths.
I was more impressed with this stat, like that you both of you closed in on Lakin a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you zipped over at line 1, 2, 3, pretty much over at last, like, I don't know, like 5 seconds. Absolutely fantastic. Rolled over line, straight into like Parc Fermé.
Yeah.
Music on, tunes on, big podium set up.
Big arch thing,
big banner behind where they went. Hudson kind of like introduced them all onto the stage, which was absolutely fantastic. Introduced Hudson. He'd clearly watched the racing. A lot of people went down there as well. So on the Friday, the endurance riders are just practicing.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a lot of them were like watching all weekend. Obviously, they were just practicing. On that Friday.
Yeah.
A lot of them come and spoke to you over that day. A lot of them come down to the podium at their end.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Amazing,
it was just an amazing atmosphere, and all the people there were a lot of people who just came down and said, like, you're doing amazing. Say it's your first race on that bike.
Yeah, a lot of people know that bike.
Yeah, know that bike as well.
But so it was Phil Atkinson.
Phil Atkinson's, yeah, that's.
So it must be like some kind of famous bike here because it's got some like everybody just recognises that bike.
Yeah.
Hudson kind of described the race, talked about Hudson, said that he'd come down to a couple of practice. Really nice to know that he'd watched the racing.
Yeah.
He'd helped us as well. Introduced Hudson for position, introduced Arnie. Again, you could tell he'd watched the racing, talked about Arnie, and introduced Lakin. 1, 2, 3, podium celebrations at end, tunes on, champagne,
spraying.
Absolutely
really
mint. Loved it.
Arnie nearly taking someone's eyes out with his cork, like going straight through crowd.
Well, it went right up, didn't it?
Yeah, it went up and then went boom.
So if you want to see anything to do with that, you can look on the link will be in the description on the YouTube podcast and on the podcast on iTunes. You can see the link straight to the HKC 217 vlog, which is for the Wilton Mill round. Kind of covers exactly the same as that, but you can see a lot of footage with it, which is pretty cool. Really enjoyed that weekend.
Yeah, really good.
First time on that bike, mint.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, really excited.
So we had a Rowra track weekend. Massive thanks to Danny Shaw who organised that.
Yeah.
There must have been like 30 people up there. Loads of mini motos, loads of metro kits, a few Ovalis. Well, sorry, one Ovali actually. Yeah. No, 2 Ovalis.
2 Ovalis, yeah.
2 Booches.
2 Ovalis, yeah. So it was Wilson who had a 190, and the Booches were
2 190 Booches.
2 190 Booches, yeah.
Oh, we're on that other Boocher now. I forgot his name now. Henry McCartney.
Yeah.
Boom. See that?
Not good that.
And the legend that is Tyler Humphries. So really good to see Tyler because we've not seen him for a few rounds.
Yeah.
Obviously Wilson as well. Obviously we know Wilson. Really good to see Travis. So we had a little bit of engine problems up there. Really kind of Alan. He let you go on the Butcher 190 for the first time.
That were crackers on that. First time on a 190. So
first time on a 190. Obviously a similar GP chassis, which you really enjoyed. You were actually like, wow, that's an arm puller.
Yeah.
And then Danny, he let you actually go on a Metro Kit first. So you went on a Metro Kit GP50 first. Yeah. First time on that was your official first time on a 2-stroke.
Yeah.
So you had to ponder around on that. I think you did. Did you do a session?
I did a session on that, and it were wet because it were raining before. We were contemplating not going out.
We weren't going to go. It just spitted a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
You were like 50-50 if you were going to go. Danny had just said, I've just had all the fairings done on the bike, and like I wanted to say to Hudson, let's not go on that. So he just literally paid for some fairings to be done. I'm like, hey, I know how this rolls here. If Hudson ditches it, we're gonna have to pay for fairings. But massive thank you for Danny for like doing that. Really good to hook up with Danny again. We had a really good laugh that weekend. Danny and Travis and whatever, not all having a drink with parents after. Really good to see Danny again. Obviously Travis were racing, fighting all the way through the championship last year, which were absolutely brilliant. So really good to see Travis again. And Travis had, I think he had a Metro Kit 70 as well.
Yeah, he had a Metro Kit 70, which
and a 50,
which unfortunately locked up on him.
I think 70. I think it was 70.
It was the 70 that locked up on him.
It's not his race bike though. I think that's for next year.
It were just having a try in it.
I think he's just like getting it ready for next season.
Getting it ready. But he were having problems before, and Travis just went down back straight, and it just locked up on him. But luckily he were all right.
And he had
by the medic.
And the kind of a bit of a practice bike. I presume that's what they use it for. Like Danny, like kind of said, we kind of like flip flopping between these bikes. So he had a KTM 65 SX converted into a supermoto. Yeah. Joshua Williams were there on the same bike.
Yeah.
Tyler had a KTM 85. That were a beast.
That were a beast, yeah.
Alan actually offered you to have a go on that.
Yeah,
but it was just a bit too big.
It was just a bit too big. It would, when I sat on it...
I think you could have rode that.
I reckon I could have. You'd have to stand me up in pits and catch me in pits, but yeah.
But anyway, he got straight on the supermoto. Yeah. So Danny kindly offered to use the KTM for like 2 sessions. You got a good hour on it, didn't you?
Yeah, it really...
Absolutely just clicked on it straight away. Like Danny said, he'll jump on that. He's going to love it. It will just like riding his 90.
And it were.
It just faster.
It just felt really good, yeah.
6 gears up, road shift as well.
Road shift.
Literally.
Just jumped straight on it. It took me a while. Not a while, but I messed up a few times going into corner.
What, gearing?
Yeah, gearing down. So it was like on my 90, because on my 90 you'd stomp down to go down the gears, and you pull up to go up the gears. But now, because I'm used to race shift, it was a bit weird. But once you got into the head of stamping down to go down the gears and pull up to go up the gears, it was all right. So
you look proper settled on it.
It was really good, proper fun. As you're coming out of a corner, you'd be like. Going through gears and it wheeling like you've.
Were you down like 3 gears?
Down three or 4 gears on airpins and then out.
That good.
Yeah, really good. And then
super fast through gears.
Proper, yeah.
Weren't it? I've just actually put a video up. I think yesterday.
Yeah.
You're coming towards airpin where I used to stand there, and I can see you like go down 3 gears. And then on bike beat, you're like. Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah, but yeah, it really
super
good.
Settled on it. Really, really impressed me because like you just jumped on that. I thought. I mean, like I couldn't jump from, I couldn't even jump on a bike and do out that you do, but just jump straight on that bike like that. You look super settled on it. Look like I could just see you were like grinning through that, like you were when you were on the 190 as well.
It were really good. It were just a big buzz, like because it were a big bike. I thought it'd be hard to. I thought it'd be like ages leaning over. But
so it was like 12. I think I blew. Yeah, probably must have had 12 inch.
12 inch, definitely 12 inch. But yeah, it felt really good. I thought I wouldn't get my knee down. I got my knee down on both sides.
It just looked comfortable. Well, you proper enjoyed it.
It was just really good.
Actually, topped off weekend, so a massive thank you to Danny.
Yeah.
For letting him do that. Because
I didn't think it'd pick up as fast as it did as well. But yeah, as I said, you come out of a corner, you'd go up like 3 gears, and then it'd start wheeling and like squirming front end.
So I've not put all footage out of that. I've got a few more little clips, but yeah, absolutely amazing. And thank you to Danny for that. So sorry, we've just blitzed that little bit in there. So MotoGP Fantasy League update. So I've got to go across to this. I've got to go to this. So we'll just do. Obviously, we're on a bit of a break for MotoGP.
Yeah.
Ironically, MotoGP is coming up this weekend. More about that later. So this is a conclusion of after. I don't know what round last round with the Netherlands GP. So in first position is Vladar GP team. In second position is Rambo Racing. Third position is Remy the Gardener. Fourth position is Sheaves. Fifth position is Bristol MotoGP. Sixth position is Later Bakers. And seventh is Shui 46. Eighth position is Racing Stars. I'm not going to go all the way through that list, but I will look at the people that we know. So second position is John Rambo from So Playing Car Company. Fifth position is Bristol MotoGP. Who else do we know there? I'm in 12th position. Mum is in 14th position. Luke is in 15th position.
Yeah.
Alana's in 20th position.
Beating me.
Steve Wilkinson's in 23rd. You're in 24th. Uncle Dan's in 25th, so you're in a little battle there.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
What else have we got?
Anybody else that we know? Chloe Jones is in 35th. Mike Carr's in 39th. No more. I don't think we know any more there, do we? Is that it? Oh, Emma Newton's in 48th. And Jack Newton is in 54th. I don't think he must not be doing it.
I don't think he's playing anymore.
Yeah. So that concludes the MotoGP Fantasy League update. So again, 54 players playing in that. Really enjoying doing that. Again, actually looking forward to we need to have a little tweak of that this weekend, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
And just to touch on what we've got coming up next. So Hudson has been invited from O'Varley and the British Minibike Championship and the FIM Mini GP Championship to go to Silverstone as a VIP, which will be happening over Silverstone week, basically.
Yeah.
So we're really excited for that.
Yeah.
And that will be probably going to be a vlog. I've had clearance to be able to do that as a vlog, so that'll be a pretty cool vlog. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And there will be more of an update to follow with that, really. Yeah?
Yeah.
Excited for that?
Really, really excited for that.
A guest of Dorna, FIM, British Minibikes and O'Varley UK. So that will be rocking, and we must apologise, we've been so caught up, we've been doing the vlogs, we've been busy, as we've just said. Don't forget to check out the Bristol MotoGP podcast and the Bristol MotoGP raffle that he's doing over there. Absolutely amazing. So he's I believe he's giving away £900 now. So he's giving away money helping towards riders race, and gifts are from various people. So they give away an OMG hospitality weekend, which was absolutely amazing. Oh, sorry, it weren't OMG, it was Ducati, BBM Ducati. There's some potential other prizes that I know that we've got in pipeline that we've been able to help him out to organise. So some really good prizes coming up, and literally any money that anybody buys to get in that raffle, that money goes straight to the riders, and then the riders from British Minibikes, junior riders, from British Minibikes, Fab, all the Fab junior riders, as well, and Free Tech Talent Cup, all get chucked in, and he picks one rider from each. Well, he picks 3 riders from each one of them, and they all get pulled out, and they get some money to help towards buying a set of tyres or whatever not. Yeah. So, if you want to support anybody, get over to that Bristol MotoGP. Yeah. He's just literally putting money, getting that money, raffling it off, chucking it straight back into racing. The riders get the money. I'm seeing it firsthand. Actually, Hudson won a prize from Danny. So Danny contributed a John McGuinness signed. Yeah. Where's that? John McGuinness signed T-shirt, were it?
Yeah. But yeah, massive thanks to Danny, obviously, for donating that. And
Nutton won that.
We won that.
Oh yeah, so you won the raffle prize for going in the raffle, and you won £30 towards a set of tyres.
Yeah. So,
winner chicken dinner. We are up to date now, finally.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, please leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, it all helps.
Don't forget to head over to the HKC 217 vlog. You will always find information quicker on the vlog than on the podcast now, because it takes a little bit of a while to stack up a little bit of information to say on the podcast. So check out them vlogs, and check out his socials as well, because obviously you'll keep up to date. There's obviously race reports. That race report there were published from Ella Park like 2 days after Ella Park happened. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for Silverstone. Looking forward to that. And that about concludes it.
That concludes it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. It's free.
So on that note, see you on the next one. Don't forget to check the vlog. Socials will always be first. Get on the vlogs. See you at the next podcast.
Bye.
Bye.